It's Mansfield today. It's a Tuesday, and that means it's time for us to take a look at matters legal. And with those details, here's Advocate Lance Brogden.
Thanks for that, Jim. Yeah, welcome back. Right, so I'm going to touch on something that's not clearly understood. A lot of us are members of clubs, associations. It could be a fishing club, a sports club. It could be a book club. And we have, in these clubs, we have a constitution, we have some regulations, some disciplinary procedures, etc., etc. Bylaws, it's all there. And the question comes up, and it's coming up more and more often now that we come out of COVID into a normal life, back to our social environments. Well, how does that relate to law, legal disciplines, the way things happen? Right. So let me share this with you. Firstly, I strongly propose that sometime in your life you're a member of a club or an association, you get out there, you learn a lot. It'll be good for your kids as well. You learn a lot about some basic business practices, complexities of people, conflict, how to make decisions, and you're doing it without being remunerated in any way whatsoever. So you have a degree of freedom, and I'm going to come back to the remuneration thing. You have a degree of freedom to behave and to make decisions, and hopefully with a good team together that's in the interest of the community, a social environment, a tennis club, golf club, an association of people who do research bees. So I strongly advise that you do, during your life, spend time in one or two of those committees and contribute. It's something you put in for not getting anything out other than, you'll be surprised, satisfaction, meeting new people. So here's what happens. We are part of this. We join a squash club. And in a period of time, we become quite used to it. We enjoy the people, and we are asked to join a committee. One gets on a committee or a subcommittee, which could be refurbishing the squash courts. It could be on a drive to get new membership. You're doing all this, but then sometimes something goes wrong in the club. There's altercation. People are people. There's an altercation. Somebody says the wrong thing. Somebody's discriminatory. Somebody is not handling the finances correctly. A person misbehaves, partakes a little bit too much in the nectar of the gods, and decides that it's appropriate to give somebody else a clip on the ear. All those things which are unacceptable. What happens then? So things like immediate suspension can't happen. Okay. Remember this, no matter what the Constitution says or the bylaws, nobody has any authority to suspend you, me, or anybody else without having heard both sides of the story. Suspension is a sanction, like being thrown out of the club, like getting a fine, like getting a 5-year sentence. So where to from here? When you sign up and join a club, as a member, a committee member, an associate, even a social club, even the pub around the corner that has a little constitution and you expect it to behave in a certain way, please read the fine print. Those constitutions have been put together over many, many years. And they say quite clearly what the code of behavior is, what happens if something goes awry, what happens to your membership fees, etc., etc. But very importantly, a lot of these constitutions, bylaws, disciplinary actions give a great deal of power and authority to the general committee, or the chairperson of the general committee, or to the disciplinary committee. And note that they actually have very wide range of authority to make decisions. Now, I wanted to come back, and I mentioned earlier on, I want to come back to this issue about suspension and not being remunerated. You hear often in government and in business, a person is suspended but still being paid. And you get very angry, and so do I, but it's right. Until your matter's been heard, who has the authority to stop paying you? Naturally, you want quick justice. It must be heard, the matter sorted out one way or the other, and we move on. But in this instance, you're not being remunerated. A club member is not getting paid to be there. And for that reason, no suspension without a hearing of both sides, and the suspension is a sanction. Okay, it's not an interim thing. You might say you're suspended for 6 months However, you only the first month you're not here, and thereafter that suspension is suspended. So anything can happen. So very importantly, take note of the club you're in, the association you're in, your fishing club, your whiskey club, the rules, and work within them. And if you find that the constitution, the rules, the bylaws, the regulations, the disciplinary procedure is outdated, revisit it. So let me give you a good example. A club in Johannesburg, a sports club, and they have a really good disciplinary action. If somebody is perceived to have offended, get a letter, somebody or some ones, there could be a number of the lads, they get a letter, and then within 7 working days, the matter is heard by an appointed disciplinary team. Disciplinary team comes up and says, guilty or not guilty. That doesn't move. But then immediately as well, they also give a sanction. For example, for 3 months, you are not around. Then within 7 working days, that person or those people who have been found guilty do have an appeal. But not an appeal to be found guilty or not. The disciplinary action is over. The appeal is to the sanction. The market bank said, look, okay, we're sorry. We shouldn't have done what we did. We shouldn't have gone and got pissed on the tennis court and thrown glasses around. But we accept that. But 3 months is a long time. Can we just have 3 days? And that will be in the hands of the chairperson and or the vice chairperson. So that's a very good and efficient and quick one. But it also doesn't make any provision for interim suspension. Suspension is a sanction. So let's pull this together now. You do have rights. You have all the normal rights in law, constitutional rights to look after, and that's why they need procedures and protocols. Okay, and you follow them through. But remember, all the other facets of criminal and civil law remain intact as well. If you have an altercation or a fracas at your club, your association, your philately club, if you have something going on, all the other rights in law outside of your constitution, your disciplinary actions do remain intact. If somebody slaps you, it's assault. If somebody demeans you, you can't do that. You can't defame people. So all I want to say is, guys, enjoy your club, enjoy your association, have fun. Understand that you're part of a community and you can't just do what you like. It doesn't free you up because you aren't earning a salary to behave like a barbarian. Have a great week. Please join a club, get involved, get on the committees, and learn about how to deal with people and challenges, sometimes without being remunerated.